And joining us now on the line, we have re-elected 2nd District Congressman, Republican from Virginia, Representative Scott Rigell. Representative, how are you?
I'm well this morning, John, and I just excited to be back on the show with you. I appreciate it. I welcome all those attending the advance. No better place, really, I believe, than Virginia's 2nd Congressional District. We're just delighted to host it this year, and I don't know if you actually saw the sunrise across the Atlantic there. I'm in Washington right now, but I just imagine it's a beautiful morning there in Virginia Beach.
Well, breathtaking. And actually, Congressman, we are broadcasting in a center here at the hotel with these big picture windows just adjacent to the beach. So we actually did see the sun come up right over Virginia Beach. I've got my executive producer with me, Steve Ray. Now, he lives inside the Beltway. So when he gets up and he looks out his window, all he sees is pavement and cars. So he's pretty fired up.
It is a special place. It really is. The historical aspect of it, the beauty of it, so much waterfront that you probably want to talk about something else this morning. That's all right.
Well, Congressman, first off, congratulations on your re-election victory on November 6th. That's a big win. And it gets me really to my first question. If you look at the 2nd District of Virginia, it is almost the same demographically and party registration-wise as the Florida district that Allen West ran in, Congressman Allen West. And when you look at the voting record in the last session of Scott Rigell and the voting record of Allen West, they're almost identical except for your one dissenting vote against the caucus on the Eric Holder indictment, which actually turned out to be the right thing to do. So same districts, Allen West gets beat. You win handily by 7. What was different?
Well, first, thank you for the kind words on the election. I'm humbled to have this remarkable opportunity to serve our district and our country for 2 more years. Allen's a good friend, and I just hate to see him go. He was just a charismatic leader, and I think his future is bright wherever he decides to turn and direct his energy. It has been noted by several, kind of looking at all of this, that the 2 districts were very similar demographically. And let me just speak to my district. I'm not quite sure, what happened down there in Florida. I do know that a tremendous, really that's an understatement, I think something like 17 million Allen was able to raise, which is just eclipses anything by a multiple, almost exponential factor than any other of my colleagues, his colleagues, raised. So it was very interesting what happened down there. In Virginia, too, John, as I've described it, I think we have this beautiful and somewhat eclectic, diverse group, coalition, really, that propelled us over the top on Election Day. We had folks who were just the most conservative of the conservatives, and then we had independents. We know that we had what I would refer to as thoughtful Democrats join us in this. And, man, that was humbling. And it's really where we need to go as a party that is to be distinctly and respectfully, unapologetically conservative, and yet have the ability to connect with the hearts, the minds, and ultimately win the vote of the independent voter.
Do you think perhaps let's call it hyperbole, the campaign rhetoric, Allen West, Colonel West did make some rather rhetorically sharp statements like calling members of the Black Caucus communist. I took exception to that, quite frankly. I have one of your colleagues, Representative Bobby Scott, on my show all the time. I agree with him on just about no issues at all, maybe 1 out of 100, but we have him on. He's got something to say. He certainly is not a communist. And so do you think it's language like that some of the conservatives in the party are throwing out that is damaging the brand?
Well, John, just to be very transparent with you here, it's a fair question, and I know you cover tough topics on your show, and you should. You can understand, I would think, some reluctance to be, overtly critical of a good friend and someone that I respect. I will say in generic terms that I have sought to serve, always knowing how important it is that we, again, earn the hearts, the minds, and the trust, and ultimately the vote of the independent and the thoughtful Democrat. I want to win so badly because I know our values. I really believe our values are right and superior. That I was thoughtful as I went through this process to make sure that though our voting record is distinctly conservative, that we presented our message that with a high degree of civility. I think you've heard me talk about this. I always use the title of the president. To me, this is the fabric that holds us together as a country